kick us off today, or you want me to jump right in?
Yeah, no. Let me see if I can get us kicked off. Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on our fifth edition of the Entrepreneur Network Academy. We're really excited to have Dandy Don here in the house, and also Jim Grant, both really good friends of mine. And we do a lot together, guys, and it's always good that we can connect virtually. I mean, it brings us together from the four corners of the earth, and here we are today on our weekly basis where we have fun. Don McGrath is known as the Speaking Geek. He's a speaker, trainer, speaking coach, and four-time best-selling author. He is a radio host and public speaker, and he's based out of Colorado Springs, Colorado, although it sounds like he's in a Walmart parking lot right now. Outstanding, Don.
That's where he likes to hang out at.
Don is hired to help entrepreneurs establish themselves as undisputed experts in their industry. He recently co-founded Speaker Pathway Coalition, and I think we've gotten to the 2-year mark, haven't we, Don?
We have. We've just right, Jim. I think it was July 9th is when we came up with this brainstorm.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Speaker Pathway Coalition, their mission is support to help leaders and to help people with their public speaking skills so that they can help grow their business and share their message to others. Today, Don is going to be offering his class, Webinars That Sell. Everyone, let's give us a Zoom applause to Mr. Don McGrath.
Hey, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Robert, and thank you all you for coming today. So, like I said before, the first edition of Webinars That Sell, we did a deep dive into the whole webinar, just kind of went deep into each section, explaining what the purpose of each section is, and then building all the way to the offer. Well, today I thought we'd do something a little bit different. We've been doing some very interactive sessions the past 3 weeks. And so I thought, heck, let's do one on Webinars That Sell. So today we're really going to focus on creating your product value stack. And the product value stack is where in your offer, you articulate the various components of what you're offering. And so we're actually going to do some work here. Let's jump right in. Okay, so here's what you'll get out of this lesson today. So you'll understand what makes a great value stack. You'll understand what makes that. You'll actually come up with a name for your product that you can use in your value stack. And then we're actually going to get somebody in the success seat and we're going to create their value stack. So we'll go through and we'll actually create one today. Does that sound good? That sound like fun?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So in the first version of the first lesson we did on Webinars That Sell, I covered this. So what do you need to make sales out of a webinar? Well, you need the right audience, you need the right message, and you have to have the right offer. And those all have to be aligned and they all have to be great. So what we'll be really focused on today is a part of the offer. It's called the value stack. And I'll show you an example. But first I want to explain what makes a great value stack. So you have to have a compelling product name. And that compelling product name needs to be emotional and needs to really articulate what people are going to get when they use your product. So we're actually going to do some brainstorming around your product names today, and you'll have a chance to go into actually, we might just do it in one big open session since we only have a handful of people on today, but a compelling product name. Also, your value stack must convey the benefits. How will your product make life better for someone who purchases your product? It has to convey the benefits. You should have multiple items in your value stack that offer an incredible value relative to what you're asking. If you're asking someone for $97, you need to give them way more than that, okay, in your offer. And the reason you need to have multiple items in your value stack is people will often make a purchase based upon one or two things that are in your stack. They may want the coaching piece of it. They may want the course part of it. They may want the event. They may want, just one thing in there. So that's why you want to give them multiple opportunities to decide that they want your product. And then the elements in your value stack should have powerful titles that convey the benefit of it. All right. So the first exercise we're going to do is, what is your product name? All right. So let me just check to see how many how many participants on it? Oh, actually, we're gonna go into breakout rooms. So the exercise here is to brainstorm around your product name. So think of a product that you offer or that you want to offer, and let's think of a good name. And the name should convey the benefits. What are people going to get when they purchase your product? It should have some emotional words in there that make people feel the benefit, not just hear the benefit, but feel the benefit. It should be positive. It should have a positive slant to it. It should be concise. It shouldn't be a paragraph long. And to the extent as possible, if it has a physical feel, all the better. Like if it's a training course, if it's a program, it's a blueprint, it's an architecture, it's something that has some sort of a physical feel to it, even if it is a training program.
You might want to give folks a chance to copy down those so they can focus on those points. I guess give them about a minute to do that, Don.
All right. I will also I'll copy these into the breakout room. So I'll send this as a message in the breakout when we go. All right. So here's just some examples to get your juices flowing. Okay. Fast Path to Cash Quick Start Program. That's a program that Speakers Pathway is working on creating right now. We're going to launch that in September. But Fast Path to Cash conveys a benefit. Quick Start Program conveys that it's going to happen quickly. It's not going to take years to do it. So that's one example. Another is the 6-minute webinar with a subtitle, Get New Clients with Little or No Effort. So again, this conveys the benefit. Some other ones that I came up on the interweb, I just looked some of these things up. These next two I got off of Brendan Burchard, off of his website, Hacking Your Healthcare. Another one was High Performance Academy. These are good product names. They convey the benefits. Obviously, hacking your healthcare, you're going to learn how to hack your healthcare. So if you're having problems affording healthcare or finding the right healthcare, you're going to find ways to hack through that. High Performance Academy, obviously that's about achieving high performance. The last two are off of Tony Robbins' website. Okay, and Tony's titles are a little bit longer, but they're very, very descriptive. You know exactly what you're going to get. Discover the tools to make your life extraordinary. So if you want an extraordinary life, this might be a good training course for you. Inspire others to make a positive life transformation. All right, any questions? Anybody have any questions before we go into the breakouts?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, we're going to hop into the breakouts. You're going to be assigned randomly, so I don't know who's going to end up with whom, but your goal is to brainstorm around one of your product names and help each other to, make it as great as it can be. All right, here we go. We got, 9 people? Let's go into 3 breakout rooms. All right, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Warren, are you having a hard time getting into a breakout room? Welcome back. Welcome back. It's like people are making their way back.
With that.
All right. I think we got everybody back. All right. So who would like to share something that they learned, or want to share your product name, or want to share some perspective on the exercise? Don't be bashful.
I like Stephanie's. I want to steal hers. What we came up with hers.
Stephanie, share.
Yeah, so we came up with, let's see, so my my company for this that is offering the education is called Positive Cash Flow Academy, and we came up with 6 weeks to your fast dash to cash.
Wow. That's good.
Oh.
Describes it. What am I going to get? 6 weeks. I'm going to get fast path to cash.
Yes.
That's good. It's emotional,
Mhm.
right?
It's measurable too.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's physical. It has that physical feel, right? It is 6 weeks. Ah, it's physical. I can feel it. Anybody else? Anything to share?
Yeah, she helped me. Stephanie helped me come with the 7-figure jump, which I think is really good. And I kind of tweaked it just a couple of words. It's like 7-figure jump, how to bridge the Uber profitability gap. And I love that word bridge.
Yeah. It's action, right? It's physical. I can see the bridge, right? Excellent. All right. Anybody else have anything to share before we jump into it?
I would, Jim really helped me because I was kind of stuck in the mindset of like learn. I wanted to use that word learn, but he said, if you change it to, do you want to heal from your grief? Like that's just so much more powerful than, do you want to learn because, you know, people are busy and I don't want to learn something new, you know, so.
Learn sounds like work, right?
Yes.
Learn
Yeah.
sounds like work, but you did a beautiful job. And Jim, thank you for painting the benefit.
Mhm.
Get over your grief. That's what they want, right?
Mhm.
That's what they want. I was just reading a book this morning, and it was about copywriting. I'm a geeky that way, but they were talking about how when you offer something, you have to stay away from offering what you believe people need and offer what they want.
Mhm.
And then you can deliver what they need along with it. But in your sales motions, it needs to be what people want. All right. Any other shares before we go? Is that useful?
Yeah.
Yes.
It starts with the product name. If you have a blah product name, you're going to lose people immediately, right? Because they're going to like, I don't care what's in this thing. It's boring. All right. Let's move on to the next thing. All right. So now we're going to go on and we're actually going to work on somebody's value stack. All right. So I'm going to ask for a voluntold person, a person to get in the success seat. But here's an example. Okay. This is what you get. So when I make my offer in the webinar, that I would show this, right? I would build value in the webinar and I would ask, hey, is it okay with you if I show you how you can get even more value, how I can help you even more? Hopefully people say yes. Then what you get with the Fast Path to Cash training program. So you get the total product clarity, quick start training. So total product clarity. This is where you get clarity around aspects of your product, your mission, your vision, and who your target audience is. So they get clarity, and there's a value, and you put the value next to it. Okay, that alone is $197 value. If you purchase that element, that's what we believe it's worth. The next step in the program is the product creation launchpad quick start training. So this is where you actually create your product that you're going to launch in the next phase, and it's quick. It takes less than 30 days to create your product. The Get Sales Now product launch. You'll actually do a product launch as part of this. Within 60 days, you will launch your product. 2-month membership and speakers pathway, including 24 group coaching session with our business experts. And then 6-minute webinar training. We'll show you how to create a 6-minute webinar that you can use to sell your products and services. Yeah, Jim.
One thing I want to share that I shared this with Tina, when you have something like total product clarity, quick start training, ask yourself a question like you're talking to someone. Do you want a total product? Would you want a total product clarity, quick start program? Would you want a product creation launchpad quick start training? You asked, and if the answer is automatically yes, that's a good title. That's a good rule of thumb. And you may want to, jot that down, because be sure and ask, do you want? Because people want, not
Yep.
what they need, but they want. That's a very good key there. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Jim. So each one of these is an element of the program. So when people purchase this program, they're going to get each one of these. And there's multiple things, because some people may just want the 6-minute webinar training. They're like, I want to learn how to do a 6-minute webinar. I'm going to make this purchase based upon that alone. They may want, 24 group coaching calls with business experts. They may want the product launch, right? So each one of these individually, people will make purchase decisions on one or maybe two of these, but often it's just one that's really the reason they buy. Does that make sense? All right, so this is an example. Then what you'll do in your offer, you'll total it up. This is a $4,500 value, and then you'll do a price drop, because obviously you're not going to ask them to pay the entire value of this. You're going to offer them a very special deal because they're at that webinar. So in this, it's 3 payments of $150, and then get cash flowing fast. That's the takeaway benefit. Okay, so this is the architecture of the value stack. I'm going to pause there for questions.
Go ahead.
So are these defined somewhere? Are these described? I'm assuming then each one of these has a description somewhere so that people can see what the differences are.
Yeah, so in the webinar, you will actually go through and give an introduction to each one of these things. Okay, so you'll actually do an outline or give insight as to what's in each one of these things. But this, I wanted to focus on just the value stack,
Okay.
just creating the language around what you're going to offer.
And how did you come up with the final price, the special price?
Well, it's just what we want to ask for it, what we feel we're willing to offer this for. That's kind of what we came up with. $450 we think is fair. 3 payments of $150 we thought was fair for this amount of training. It's really just kind of up to you. What do you want? What's going to make it worthwhile for you to offer this, and what's going to be of value to everyone else? So what do you think a price point for your target audience will pay? Because some target audiences have much more disposable income for training and others don't. So it's that balance. Good question.
How much value you're providing.
And how much value you're providing.
Exactly.
All right. So here's the second thing we're going to do. We're going to actually do a success seat, where I'm going to ask for, actually, maybe I'll just, to make it not me, Jim, I'll ask you to think of a volunteer that you want to volunteer for the success seat. So think about that.
I've already got her picked.
All right. So we'll do the product name. And here's the things that you'll be thinking about. Okay. You need to think about, how do you help people? How do you help them? Because those are going to determine the steps, right, in your value stack. Like in the Fast Path to Cash, we start out with total clarity. We have a 7-day clarity program. And then the next step is creation. So you actually create the elements of your product. And then the third step is launch. So here's what you're going to need for this: the product name. Think about, how do you help them? What are the steps that you take people through in your program? Because often there's a correlation. The steps often equate to the elements in your value stack. And pretty much every coaching program or every training program I've ever been through breaks into these 4 steps. There's some sort of assessment, there's some sort of an analysis, there's some sort of a plan, and then there's some kind of an action. So if you don't have the steps, then you can use this as an outline. And then finally, you want to think about, what tools do you use? Do you offer any special tools? Have you created any special tools that you can help people that can become part of your value stack? All right. So what we're going to do is, who's your volunteer, Jim?
Let me ask someone, first of all, who would like to volunteer for this? And this is a safe stage. This is, to help. Okay, Tina raised her hand. Okay, Tina, you go right ahead. You're the one I was going to suggest anyway. So let's go ahead.
Thank you.
All right.
You're
So Tina, remind me the name of your program.
So I came up with Heal and Recover from Grief and Loss.
Oh, wait a minute. That's not what I want. Heal and recover from
Grief and loss.
and loss.
Mhm.
Okay, so what you get with heal and recover from grief and loss. All right, so what would be the first element? And if you're struggling with what that is, what would be the first step you do with someone who is in this program?
We identify old patterns of behaviors and myths that they have learned throughout their life about grief and loss.
Uncover, what did you say? Myths and patterns?
Myths, misinformation, and old patterns of behavior.
Do you do a live session maybe?
Yeah, so that's part of I have an eight week group and one-on-one program.
Mhm.
So that's like the first session,
Okay.
if that makes
Discover
sense.
old, OLD, discover old. Or
Discover
uncover.
old patterns and beliefs discovery session.
Mhm. Uncover.
I'm going to italicize that one. All right. How does that feel to you, Tina? Does that represent like a step that you would take with someone?
Yeah, that sounds good.
So one element by uncover old patterns and beliefs discovery session. And what
Mhm.
value would you put on that? If someone just wanted that from you, what value would you put on it?
Hmm.
How long,
Do what?
how long do you spend with them?
Well, really that's more than one session. Cause see, I'm trying to think, my program's 8 weeks. Maybe 500.
Let's leave it at 497 then.
There we go.
Yeah. Again, Tina, look at that question. Do you want to uncover old patterns and bad or beliefs?
Yeah.
You want to uncover those. And that's remember to ask that question. Do you want? Because that fits right in there. That is, if it's a yes answer.
All right. So that's one element. Let's do another one. What would be, after you do that, Tina, what would be the next thing that it might do?
I'm trying to decide if I would put this next step, if it would be in the first one or in the next one. It kind of goes with the first, but it's uncovering their coping mechanisms, basically. Like the things that they turn to distract themselves from feeling. But I thought that's a very powerful piece. So I do think it needs to be the next.
Crush your distractions, or is that?
No, crush
No.
your, what did you say? It begins with a C. Your coping.
Coping mechanisms, or the negative behaviors that we turn to is another way that I've described it.
I like crush your negative behaviors.
Oh, I like that.
There we
That
go.
sounds really good.
All right.
Yeah.
Crush your negative behaviors.
So that coping mechanism for an old country boy, I may not know what that means.
Perfect. Oops. It'd be good if I spelled stuff right. All right. So what value would you put on that?
I'd probably do around the same.
All right.
Okay.
Now so you get the idea, right? You're going to walk through
Yeah.
the program and you're going to 5 to 7 different things. Now, let me take a little different tack on this one. Is there some really special tool that you offer that you feel is like really a special sauce for you?
So it's really about the actions. Like that's what kind of wraps up everything at the end of the program. And it's learning the action steps to take to move beyond the pain. And that's like the secret sauce.
Do you do some kind of accountability coaching to go with that? Or what do you do any follow-up, like accountability?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with them every step of the way, like every step they do, like I'm right there with them. So it all is coaching.
Okay,
How about like mentoring? Do you mentor them?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Because
they basically hear my story and I show them what they're going to do based on how I worked through my grief.
because what I hear is you have, you know, if you're uncovering old patterns, you know, you have to wash away those old patterns. And really it's not just coaching them. You know, I believe in mentoring and modeling. You know, you're helping mentor them into a new model of living. And so that goes beyond coaching. And I think mentoring is a much stronger word for you to use than coach.
Mhm.
I like
You know,
that.
it
Yeah, I've
because it's
never
like
thought of it
even,
that way.
yeah, because we work with kids a lot and network together, and we work with DECA, we work with school districts, and we don't coach kids. You know, we develop kids. You know, we mentor kids, and really mentoring is really, you know, reestablishment of the personal modeling that someone utilizes. You know, they go to the disk drive and they come out the same results because they go back to the same disk drive. And what you're doing is you're repatterning everything, and that takes a little bit more. That takes more of like a mentorship. And I think that you do more mentoring than you do coaching.
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
so I wrote down here, walk with me mentoring. I don't know if that feels right to you, but I think something that lets them know that you are there with them, like walk beside you or something, right? Like you're going to be there with them every step of the way. I would imagine that might be important to these folks.
Hmm.
All
Yeah,
right.
you know, and I like that too, Don, because like, you know, walk with me because, you know, what is the thing that people, when they're changing their behaviors, the biggest fear is loss, you know, or failing. And, you know, if you say walk with me, that means, you know, that person's really gonna stay there through thick and thin. And I think that that's what I like about what you put there as well.
Something that I really like to stress is that working with me, like I'm non-judgment, like no judgment, no criticize, no analyzing. So I don't know if that would be important to put somehow in there or maybe word it a different way. But that is something that I think it's very important and it builds trust that people know that I'm not, you know, this is a judge-free zone and that I am there to mentor them. And
That's probably something that you build in your webinar. Like
okay.
as you're going through the webinar, that's where people are going to get to know you, right? They're going to get to know. And if you
Hmm.
watch the webinar deep dive, that session where you're delivering content, is your goal is to make complex and difficult things seem simple and easy, and have people in their mind saying, I can do that. And not only that, but this person can help me, right? That's kind of what you're trying to achieve. So I think when you're going through that content section, that's where you would accomplish that.
Yeah, you know, and I don't know, this one means a lot to me, what you're doing, Tina. You know, another thing that you can do is, you know, alliterate in a different way. You know, maybe you say, I have this patented or whatever step ladder mentoring program, you know, so then you're not necessarily saying step by step because everyone says that, but it's like they can envision, you know, walking up the stairwell, you know, to their new freedom, you know, their new patterning, their new behaviors.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
I'm adding the words. I added a blueprint to crush your negative behaviors blueprint. And
Yeah.
that word makes it feel real. It makes it feel
Mhm.
physical, right? It's people can create an image in their mind of what a blueprint looks like. And then same thing, walk with me mentoring program. Okay. So that's again, the physical piece of it. So you kind of get the idea, and then you will say what the total value is, whatever that ends up being, register now for whatever you want to offer it for. And what would your benefit be? Get what?
See, this is where I struggle because I want to go into the deeper stuff and I know I just need to make it short and sweet and something that's going to relate to
Mhm.
people. Because it really is transforming their life.
Find what? What would I say if you said find what?
Find peace, joy, find peace, joy, and freedom. Find peace, joy, and freedom. I don't know if anything else needs to go there.
You just want to stress the benefit. Like do this. I mean, in this you will find peace, joy, and freedom. That's it.
Okay.
Just reiterate that this is what this is about. In the example I had up there, it was, get out of debt in 120 days. Whatever that is, you just want to, again, reiterate that people are going to get it. All right. Was that useful, Tina?
Absolutely. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
You betcha.
See, it answers the question. It says, do you want to find peace and joy and freedom?
Yeah.
They're all yes answers, and that's what you want to focus on there. And that's good. I like that.
All right. Who wants to be the next volunteer? We're only quarter after. I think we got time for one more. Who wants to get in the success seat?
I do.
All right, Stephanie. That's your product name again.
Okay, so my product's name is 6 Weeks to Your Fast Dash to Cash.
Fast. All right, what you get with, let me italicize these because this is a physical thing, right? Okay, so what you get with 6 weeks to your fast dash to cash. All right.
First one, so your first one is identify your time and money leaks.
Ooh. Identify your time and
money
leaks.
Yep.
What is that? Is that a program? Is it a blueprint? Or is it an architecture?
So that initially is the assessment. That's your checklist where we go over and we actually look into your business.
All right, let me correct my spelling here. Okay, so identify your time and money leaks assessment.
Yep.
How does that feel?
That's awesome.
That feels great, right?
Yep.
And what would the value of that be?
I like that $497. I usually have that around $675, but $497 could work as well.
All right, let's make it $675.
Okay.
What is worth? All right, what is the next part? What might be the next step?
So the next piece is protect yourself from the IRS. And that is the next step where we move you from a hobby to a business.
Protect.
Yeah.
I'd like us to work a little bit on that word protect.
Okay.
I was with somebody the other day and there was something like keep the IRS off your back and save $8,000, something like that.
My tagline used to be stay under the radar of the IRS, or stay under the radar of the IRS is what my initial one was.
Or shield is a good word. The word shield.
Oh, shield yourself from the IRS. Ooh, that's a good one.
Shield yourself from the IRS. And what is it? Is it a session? Is it a training? Is it a...
Oh yeah, that's also where we go in and we look at your business entity and we look at how you're doing business. So that's your blueprint. That is correct.
Okay. So, all right, shield yourself from the... And how much, what's the value of that?
Yeah, that $497 will work just fine.
$497?
Yeah.
Awesome. So you got the identify your time and money leaks assessment.
Yes.
You have to shield yourself from the IRS blueprint. And
Yes.
then what's next?
Next is where we do your business security lockdown, but we can make that prettier.
What is it again?
So that's your security lockdown. That's where we take your contracts, all of your intellectual property, and we make sure that they are airtight and represent your business, right? So that your contracts for your VA support, for your independent contractors, for your joint.
And what do they help your client do?
Basically, they legalize their business. So it just helps them to just protect themselves from any outside.
You know, it's just kind of a general comment that I'm feeling with. There's a lot of protection, right? And maybe that's a lot of what you do, but I would encourage you to think about, what do people want, right? They may need the protection.
But what they want is to not be sued. So
How about something like keeping their lawyers away? Or something like that.
bulletproof, or maybe bulletproof them from lawsuits or something. What do we want to say?
Boost your bottom line.
Mhm.
The end result they want is they want to be more profitable, and one of their expense items are lawsuits and legal
Yeah.
things, right? So how about something like the profit keeper?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Profit keeper. Now you can add to that the profit keeper. I'm drawing a blank.
So the profit keeper, that's avoid lawsuits.
Profit keeper, legal expense.
I'm like thinking like, act of God,
Yeah.
Well, so I just got from somebody was presenting for, you've heard the name Legal Shield.
Yes.
Well, so they protect, the way it was advertised, they protect you cheaply from getting sued. So something for, keeping others' lawyers away, or cheap. Cheap is bad word. Keep the sharks away.
I like that.
Something like that. Keep the legal sharks away. Something like that.
I like that. Profit keeper, that legal protection program. I like that.
Ooh, that kind of describes it, right?
Yeah.
Profit keeper. I want to keep my profits instead of spending it on all these doggone forms that I got to keep filing and all these lawsuit people
Yes.
keep contacting me. I got to do this and I got to do this. We've all felt that. How about let's do the tool one. Is there some particular tool that you offer that you feel is, some special sauce and might be an item in your value stack?
So the tool that I offer is what we ultimately have is the implementable thing. So it's like a blueprint, but it's not. I call it your like profit action plan, but we can make a prettier name to that. Because that we just use profit keeper, but there is the profit action plan. It literally is step by step of what to do to increase your profits and how.
Do you walk with them on that? Do you coach them with that?
That is correct. So we walk through with all the things that we've done before. It leads us to a clear picture of their business, of what their next steps are to be, that they need to take.
You could play on your title and call it your, like your fast cash action plan or something like that.
Oh, I like that.
I love it, Robert.
Yeah.
Because then you're tying it in again.
That's perfect. That's perfect, because that's what it is. It's an action plan that we actually walk through, and now you have something like, if I fall on my face tomorrow, you have an actual draft of what you need to do next week, next month, and for the next couple of months following.
All right. How does this feel?
I love it. It's fantastic.
You see how it takes some simple, like, it in your head what it does, but it's important to add emotion, and make them feel, connect with your ideal audience and make it feel physical. And see, some people might want to be like, oh, profit keeper, legal protection program, I want it for that. Some people might be like, okay, I need some mentoring, and this woman, I really need her to mentor me, right? Oh, I want to learn how to stay out of trouble with the IRS. I just went through an audit, cost me $8,000, right?
Right.
Great stuff.
So we have the last one we have is in your support structure. So that's so right before profit keeper and dash to cash, right in between there is your So that's where we talk about your processes and your support. So processes to support your financial freedom or something. I don't know, but that's what we do.
What do people want from that part of the process with you? They want more time, they want more freedom, they want less headache, right?
Part of the process, they want to know how to hire a VA, how to take some of the things off of their plate that's keeping them from really stepping into their full potential. Oh, I like that.
You know, something like that. Freedom creation blueprint, where they're what they want is to have somebody else do a lot of the work that they don't like. So,
They do.
you know, so something like, you might want to toy around with some words like that.
Mhm.
And then how about, what would be your benefit at the very bottom?
Okay, so at the very bottom,
Get. I like get for you rather than find. I think, again, you know, you got to, the words change, words matter, right? And so the words for someone who's getting over grief, I like the word find rather than get. But for you, since you're the 6 weeks to your fast dash to cash,
yeah,
I would say get. What are they going to get?
yeah. So get positive cash flow for life.
Ooh.
So,
Flow for life.
Yes.
I can't spell, but
you get excited for that.
I know. Awesome. Excellent. All right. So I hope you found this useful. I want to open it up for Q&A or anybody. We got 5 minutes left. Anybody have any questions or anybody want to volunteer for a short success seat?
Well, you know, what I want to comment on is what I like about this, especially with the size of the classes, and I've noticed the pattern with the 5 that we have so far is, you know, it's so nice to be in the know and not the unknow. And what I mean by that is when you have other people in the room and, you know, the light bulbs go off and they get it, you know, immediately right now. Because so many times we just throw darts at the dartboard and we think people understand what we're saying. And truthfully, we could go months and no one ever understands what we're saying. You know, our intention is there, but our message isn't. And what I like about having everyone get together like that, not only, you know, do we clarify the message, you know, if I dare say it, you know, we actually make a certain sexiness about it to where it's like, oh my gosh, I got to get that Profit Keeper Legal Protection Program. I don't even know what it is, but I like it.
Hey,
And
Don,
that's a good point. You really, I mean, you should love your offers. You should love them. They ought to feel so good, and you ought to be in love with them, right?
Hey, Don, I've been struggling with this for 3 weeks. What you've provided in the last 20 minutes is invaluable. I haven't been able to get this anywhere. And I've talked to a number of people. So I have 12 different segments now here. I just need to figure out where to put them and so forth. So this has been extremely valuable. Just the last 20 minutes and the breakdown that you were doing between the 2 people and asking questions and using some keywords. So thank you.
You know,
excellent, and thank you for the volunteers who, you know, when you're in the success seat, other people are learning too.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I always want to remind anyone, you know, don't you know, even though sometimes we want to keep Don in our side pocket or our shoebox, you know, let others know, you know, what great value, you know, that we're all getting from this, because I'd love, you know, Don to continue to have more and more people listen to his wisdom, because he truly has wisdom.
And I guess if I hope you found this really useful. And if you want my personal help to go through and work on this with you, then drop your name and your email in the chat and I'll get with you and we'll set up a time and we can just go and we can work through your whole value stack and we can work through your offer to make it just like a killer offer. I love when people love their offers, because I honestly I love my own offers.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This has unlocked so much for me. Like, wow, like the possibilities, and like, I wasn't in love with my offer before, and now I'm just like seeing what we put together and it just feels good. So thank you.
Be in love with your offer. You know, if you're not in love with your offer, scrap it. keep, you know, one other thing is keep adding to it. Like, let yourself go wild. Think, how can I just throw everything I have at this, right? And the more you do that, the more you realize you're going to help people, and the more you're going to grow to love your offers.
And
Yeah.
you know, and it's just clarifying and organizing them. I think that's really the key. And the other question, I'll throw this out. I've been now on 3 or 4 one-on-ones with people who are, you know, helping with this and that, and everybody says raise your prices. That if it's too low, people will not appreciate, even though you're giving it to them because you want to give them a deal for $200. They're not going to appreciate it. Whereas if you sell it for 500 or, you know, or 1,000, somehow that perceived value is a key. Can you speak on that just maybe for a minute?
Yeah, you know, it really is a very personal thing. And I would urge you to get what you're worth. Get what you're worth. Get it so that you're making an offer so you're going to be so excited to attend those coaching calls. You're going to be so excited to deliver what you're giving. And, you know, yeah, if the price is higher, people do tend to appreciate it. But again, if you make it more affordable to your people, then you can help more people. So I don't know. I would just sit with it, bounce it off a few people. And if people say, oh my God, you got to charge more than that, then charge more than that. Right.
Yeah, Paul, if I can say something really quick, Paul, when it comes to prices, like one thing that I learned was just figuring out how much I wanted to make each year, and then working backwards to, it's like, oh, how much do I want to make this year? And then working backwards, okay, well now how many people do I want to work with? How long do I want to work with them for? And then, so now I have this many people that I'm going to work with, and then, you know, basically work backwards, and then you kind of helps you figure out your price.
That's great. You also may want to look at other people who are offering
you.
similar services, right? Because they're in that similar market.
Right.
They've been in it longer than you. You might just want to look and see what they're doing, right? Because you need to be competitive or offer way more value or something, right? So that's,
Yeah, no, there's some huge differences I've done some searches on a variety of things, and I'm searching for one client, and it's like some people are literally doing it for $100, and there's other people doing it for $1,500, and you're going, okay.
then I go back to what Philip said, is figure out how much you want to make and how many hours you want to work.
Clearly.
Backwards. All right, everyone, we're at the bottom of the hour. Thank you so much. I've had a blast. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you had fun too.
Thank you, Don. I learned a lot.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.